Hi again everybody, welcome to another video. Here you can see a scene on my screen. This is a sci-fi type sci-fi style hallway in 3D that I was able to create on Blender. Okay, that's the new version of Blender 2.8. If you don't know it, it's one of the most it's really popular. It's used by so many people. Blender is a free open source 3D program for creating 3D animation and game assets and stuff like that. Anyway, I mainly do 2D animation, as you know. Also, I do want to mention that this clip you're seeing here, it's just a looped simple clip. You can see it's a little bit fuzzy and it's not got the best quality. I don't know if that's just to do with my computer. My computer is not the most powerful one, but still, or it may be just my settings as well that are also affecting it in the options. I'm fairly new. I'm very new to this. Recently, I've just been giving myself a crash course, basically on 3D art and animation as well as 2D. Oh, by the way, the atmospheric music that's playing in the background is also made by me, ambient music, just for this video. I want to also say I want to, of course, give a special thanks to the person who made the tutorial for this, because what I did is I followed along to a tutorial video, more or less step by step. I changed a few things like the colours and stuff and just played around with a few things. Did a few things differently, but for the most part, this was I followed a video, okay, on YouTube by a guy named Ducky3D. I think it's Ducky3D. You can check it out online on YouTube. There's a video on his channel called Easy Sci-Fi Style Hallway or something like that, in Eevee, Blender 2.8. Anyway, so I want to give a special thanks to that guy. It was a great tutorial. In that video I followed along step by step. It's like under 15 minutes, the tutorial video I watched, and I've been watching a lot of videos recently. I'm trying to learn more about Blender and materials and modelling and stuff. I never got into the old Blender 2.79, but this one's great. I'm getting much more used to this one, Blender 2.8, I must say. Please excuse me for these advertisements that keep popping up on the screen. I just thought I'd show you this because this is probably the best thing I've ever done in 3D so far. I followed along and it was a great tutorial because I learned so much that I will practice more with. I've been looking at different features in Blender. I've been having a lot of trouble, as I say, recently trying to get some things sorted out, like rigging for characters and things like that. That's giving me some trouble right now, but I'll work some stuff out. But anyway, in terms of creating these 3D scenes and worlds, I'm getting better at it, I'll say that. And the video the video I watched actually covered so many different steps of how to just basically model things, and then it was mainly like the modelling part that was all new to me. The different tools and stuff, and I learned quite a lot. And I learned that by learning these different steps, I can actually come up with my own different designs and shapes. There's a lot of good effects that you can see here, such as the lighting and bloom, and playing around with the textures and materials, like getting the shiny materials or the rough materials, things like that. There's a lot of things that you can do, plus camera animation like this, and animation in general. So I could make like scenes that are better, probably, and I want to try and get some natural kind of nature type scenes too, if I can get them. If I can see any tutorials online. Basically, yeah. So I'm going to practice. I'm going to follow along using that tutorial that I watched, and what I'm learning from this, like from this experiment here. And I'm going to basically try to make more scenes, like my own different kinds of scenes and objects and things, and just practice more. And in the end it's going to be good. I'm not really into. I'm not really making any games at the moment, like 3D games and stuff. I will be giving it a go. But mainly I'm into animation, as you know. I've seen some people doing some like toon shading type animation too, using 3D, using Blender and other things such as like Cinema 4D, which I don't have, but Blender's great. I've also seen people people doing animation where they have 3D backgrounds and 2D characters, and I've been working on different things too, studying that. Okay, so I've got a lot of stuff coming up, 2D animation and 3D stuff, animation wise. I was going to say I can also do like blue screen background, blue, green screen, chroma key, whatever, that type of stuff, using backgrounds like this, as well, for like movies and stuff, or even for certain scenes, or creating some fun like music videos or all that. I've always been into editing. I've got like various video editing softwares I use on my computer. There's a lot of different things out there. There's a thing called Houdini. I don't have that, but that's good for special effects, I hear. I did want to try out that DaVinci Resolve for like video editing, but I couldn't seem to get that working. I like HitFilm Express. I've got the free one. That's very good for video effects and compositing as well. So if you're into like video editing or effects and any of this stuff, okay, 2D animation, 3D animation, games making, movie making, special effects and all that stuff, and music, like I'm into it all, creation, man. I would advise anybody to start writing some stories, get your imagination going. Look, man, I followed along to this tutorial. It was like under 15 minutes, the tutorial, if I remember, and I come up with this. And I'm just saying, it's not great, but I'm just saying, like, think about it, look, we've got all this, like, these softwares at our hands, like open source stuff. I think it's great, I know I'm just ranting now, really going on and on. It's just a quick clip I did. I want to say, I know it's not the most clearest like render either, or whatever. I mean, this is actually just playing in the viewport. What you're seeing here is actually just playing in Blender in the viewport. I'm just recording the screen, and it's with the Eevee render engine. Eevee's set. Okay, Cycles doesn't work very well for me, but it's just playing. Now this is supposed to be like as close as you're going to get to a full render, but to do a full render, I don't know how long this would take. I may give it a try to give it a render of a video and see what that looks like, but really I'm just into like I want to practice more modelling like scenes up like this in general, and then adding the effects and just coming up with my own worlds and mini scenes which I can then add characters to, for either 2D or 3D or whatever, plus also using 3D to help me with like my 2D cartoons in general. Like if you wanted to, you could even just like model scenes, and then, as I say, just get the camera angles and draw over them to do comics and stuff, or just 2D backgrounds for cartoons. But I'm really impressed with the 3D capabilities of this software, Blender. Just this may not impress you too much what I've done here, especially because it's a bit fuzzy too, but still, we didn't used to have this stuff a few years back, anyway, I'm just saying, right, check the stuff out, okay, check videos out online of Blender, and you'll see lots of great stuff that people are doing. If I remember to create this thing, just as simple as that, with a few clicks basically, then I had to follow along to it, but I'm just saying, to me it impresses me. I mean, we've all seen like sci-fi films, you've seen like whatever, Star Trek or whatever, I'm just saying, like you could come up with some like cool little movie scenes, like 3D stuff or blue screen background or animation. I'd love to see what you guys can come up with, anyone out there, and I'm going to be really practicing with this and my 2D animation. I also want to do some rotoscoping for like 2D animation, and maybe mixing that with this or separate, and I'm going to do a lot of different cool stuff. Really am. I'm going to try mixing 2D with 3D too, because I've seen people do it and it does look good if you do it right. I'm a big fan of manga and anime and all that, cartoons, Japanese cartoons and all of that, but it's like this 3D stuff's really impressive, I must say. I could definitely create some atmospheric little scenes and short films, I think. So that's enough of my rant. I just thought I'd show you this, okay? Yeah, I found out that in the last 2 videos I made about Blender, there were 2 videos I made talking about my problems with rigging characters. Basically, yeah, I can't find a way of rigging characters or selecting the bones in this new version of Blender. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, it's strange and that. Yeah, but what I was going to say is, also that excuse me. I was also going to say that there was another problem that I was talking about a viewer node and how I couldn't find it, but I've solved that problem more or less now. You have to be in a different viewport. But anyway, I want to say a big thank you to you guys for watching this and listening to me talk for nearly, well, just 11 minutes now. It's just reached. Just thought I'd show you this. Take care now, and thanks for watching.